So don't get mad, but Caretaker wants to run Emo Kids tonight.
I do not like it, but I can live with it.
That's where I'm at, as long as it's just a night. Alright, let's do this.
Lead the way.
How much did Nico tell you about tonight's meeting?
She said you are leading it.
I suspect you have an opinion on the matter. Say what you must.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I can handle it.
I do not want you going through this again.
Oh, kiddo. Hard to mourn someone when they're standing in front of you. Tonight I will cocoon your conscious mind from your past self. When you are ready, we can safely observe the events of your death.
We can begin.
What is the last memory on the night of your death?
Lilith, asking me to join her.
Keep it close. That's where you'll begin.
All right.
What do you see?
Lilith and I face each other in the circle. Join you? Why would I ever do that?
Since my transformation, I have made so many children, yet all pale beside my greatest creation. My true child, perfect, conceived in my very image.
I am nothing like you.
Not yet, but you will be, when I remove the shackles that bind
No.
you.
I will never stand by your side.
Foolish child, you have no choice in the... But we can no longer afford such lies.
I cannot move. The Darkhold. She has the Darkhold.
You cling to the delusions of your captors. Embrace your true self trapped within.
She lifts the Darkhold high. She...
That's it? That's how the hunter died?
There's nothing more.
So the hunter died because of a book?
Miss Rasputin, the Darkhold is hardly a book.
So Lilith read the hunter to death.
I guess she channeled her demon powers through the Darkhold.
Ugh, still a boring way to die.
What did Lilith mean about your true self?
I think Sarah can shed some light on this.
I think you're right. Sarah knows her sister better than anyone alive. Perhaps she has insight on what Lilith meant.
I will talk to Sarah.
Sounds good. Another meeting completed. You heading out?
In a minute.
Observing your own death can lead to sleepless nights, I know from personal experience. If you have trouble sleeping, I can write you a prescription. A joke, of course. I'm not licensed in this state.
You died predictably.
You sound disappointed.
Death for the hunter should not be so banal. Next time, add some spice. Get your legs stuck in a combine harvester. Have a sack of starving weasels tied around your face. Anything but demon powers.
I think that's it.
That is it for me.
Sounds good. See you next meeting.
Are you prepared? Are you Are you?
Yes.
Wanda had some thoughts on your alleged death.
Alleged?
She can explain. You ready for one last time with the Emo Kids?
Why are we meeting? I thought we already knew how I died.
Wanda doesn't think we do, and I believe her. So, you ready to head to the meeting and hear her out?
Lead the way.
This was a mistake. I shouldn't have brought it up.
I disagree. Your theory is sound. We must know the truth.
Stephen is correct. It's a good idea, Wanda.
And we will support you, no matter what.
Ah, we're all here. Wanda can handle this, kiddo.
I still can't get over Wanda and Sarah working together. I mean, never thought I'd see the day. Wanda called this meeting, so let her know when you're ready.
What are your thoughts on Ms. Maximoff leading this meeting?
She needs to learn she is capable of this.
But shouldn't the goal be the results, not self-actualization?
Why can't we have both?
Perhaps. If you're all right with proceeding, then so am I.
Wanda will find the truth. You will see.
Look, it's probably nothing, but I think the Emo Kids came to the wrong conclusion.
Why?
I spoke with Dr. Strange about your visions. That got me thinking. The last meeting, specifically the moment of your death, I don't think that's where your life ended.
The last time we did this, something felt off.
Good, you felt it too. There is a subtle magic at play. It clouds your perception, distracts from what is real.
Why are you so certain?
I felt it twice before. Most recently, when I was under Lilith's influence.
And the first time?
When I killed Agatha. I had no warning I'd lost control until it was over. Something masked the danger from me, from her.
It was not your fault.
Agatha says that as well. But none can deny I bear some responsibility. My magic works by creating what I most desire. It can also strip what is illusion from what is real. You deserve to know what truly happened. Please, allow me to help you.
I am ready to proceed.
All right. What is your last memory before your death?
Lilith trapped me with the Darkhold. I could not move.
Then I shall remove the veil. And now, your death revealed. What do you see?
Lilith approaches. I have never seen her so determined.
And now, child, you shall be free.
Still creepy.
Indeed.
I cannot move. Yet I hear myself shout.
What the?
My body lurches toward her. None of it my doing. Lilith struggles against her own limbs. but cannot control them. My hand reaches for the Darkhold. I see fear blossom in my mother's eyes. I touch the Darkhold.
No! Stay back!
Pain washes over us both. The world flares white. And then, there is nothing.
Okay, what is with that voice?
And who directed the Hunter's movements?
Someone who could hold Lilith in place.
That's alarming.
I'm sorry. There's nothing more. That's when the Hunter died.
Don't apologize. You'd see.
I don't know what to think. Was someone else there, and did they kill Lilith?
Those are difficult questions to answer.
At least we know to ask them. Hey, we'll get to the bottom of this. We're emo kids. We can do anything. That's all we had. You taking off?
That is it for me.
The last meeting of emo kids. Should we get another t-shirt? I kinda want another t-shirt. Or, ooh, maybe a pin. I'll figure it out. Thanks for letting us root around in your past, Hunter.
Ready for shop class?
I am ready.
Right on.
Good instincts, but you want to tighten up the array.
Like this?
Close. Here, I can show you.
What's all the, new equipment?
Ah, the supplies? No need to thank me. Donated to the cause, courtesy of 5 Stark subsidiaries.
Wow. It's really something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but just take what you need. I'll clear out the rest. I promise.
Awesome. That's great.
What is wrong?
It's nothing. Did you know Tony planned to do this?
No. Did you?
Nope. Maybe he can tell us what's going on.
How's it going, boss? Ready to get your hands greasy?
Tony, why did you bring all this equipment?
Really? The old stuff has a junkyard horked up in an 80s machine shop vibe. Why, were we supposed to vote on it?
Do not worry about me.
Robbie, huh? He's usually so laid back. I didn't think he'd have a problem.
I cannot speak for him. The two of you should work it out.
All right, I'll fix it. So, about this situation, I get it. We're bumping elbows. But you kids are doing good work here. Whatever you want to do, I'll support it.
Glad you cleared that up with Tony. Now we can get to work. Another day for retooling. We have a few more ideas in the backlog if you want to check them out. I have the components you gave me. Always good to get ahead. I'm ready to put this together. How about you?
I am ready.
that it for today?
I am ready to go.
Thanks.
Did the new equipment help?
The complexity of how
He's right. It cut our time in half.
Good. I just want to pull my weight around here.
Day, Hunter.
Hey, the mission's not over until we all breathe a sigh of relief. We're supposed to have shop class tonight, but Tony really got under his skin. I've never seen him this mad. Can you help me talk him down?
Lead the way.
Thanks, Hunter.
You've gone too far, Tony!
Explain how replacing outdated equipment is a problem.
You moved my car!
It was in the way, and I moved it back.
Crap.
All this flashy junk isn't why I'm here. Why any of the rest of us are here.
Well, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, then get out of the way.
Never meet your heroes. I get it now. I don't know why I thought you could change.
Robbie just needs a little space. Let's get started. Another day for retooling. We have a few more ideas in the backlog if you want to check them out. Did you bring the components?
No.
Sure, I get it. I have a hard time tracking them down too. Tony, what's up?
I think your gearhead pal is still wound up.
Okay. Hunter, give me a minute. I want to make sure Robbie's okay.
Take your time. I'll assemble the prototype for the Hunter.
Oh, I'd prefer to hold off. There are some details I want to go over before we begin.
Oh, come on. You've managed so far. How hard can it be for me?
Sure, fine.
Before we get started, I've noticed Parker takes twice as long to finish these prototypes than he should. I have some ideas.
We should get started.
You know what? It's just easier if I show you.
Okay.
Sit back and watch the master at work. What? You looking for a round two? I don't want to butt heads, but to quote a friend of me, I can do this all day.
Tony, I don't want to fight you. You were my hero growing up.
Kids do love Iron Man.
Not Iron Man. You, Tony. The man who could fix any problem with technology.
What do you want, Robbie?
10 years ago, you bought the Salazar steel plant, then shut it down. Do you remember what you said at the press conference? When you announced the Stark Technology Center?
Something witty?
You said, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, you should get out of my way. Tony, you put half the families in my neighborhood out of work. And for what? You never even broke ground on that technology center.
I don't even remember this.
3 years later, most of the families who you put out of work had moved away. Follow the jobs, you know? The rest of us weren't so lucky. That's when things got real bad. But those families had it right. You need to know when it's time to move on. So good luck with shop class. I hope it's all the progress you want it to be.
You too, Parker?
Yeah, Tony. If I could manage it, how hard can it be for you?
Damn it. just happened?
I guess you are in charge now.
I didn't want this.
That is not what I saw.
I can fix this.
Maybe, but not tonight.
Shop class is supposed to meet tonight.
So just the two of us?
Actually, when I asked Parker, he mentioned you stopped by. Said he could convince Robbie if I could get you to show.
2 questions. Should I bring popcorn, and have you prepared a list of snarky zingers?
No, God, no. That's not what this is about. I have to fix this.
We should not keep them waiting.
Time to face the music.
So, what did you want?
A do-over? And to apologize for the last time.
It's a nice sentiment, but a do-over doesn't have much appeal for either of us.
Yeah, I don't understand why we should keep giving you chances.
You shouldn't. Not if you don't want to. But hear me out, okay? I've been the person in charge for years. When I'm stressed, I can steamroll people who never expected it, and certainly don't deserve it.
That's what assholes say. To justify their behavior so they can keep being assholes.
Half of the Avengers agree with you. Look, nothing I did was justified. I was a jerk. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look, when you take away all the trappings of ungodly wealth, I'm just a guy who likes to make things. None of my friends were into this stuff. I was the only kid who saw beauty in exhaust manifolds, who spent hours poring over the guts of a microprocessor. That's all I want here, to make things with friends. As long as that's still an option.
That's the whole idea behind this? Okay, here's how we make this work. Tony Stark, CEO, is banned from shop class.
But making things, Tony? The guy we're talking to right now? He can stay.
That's more than fair.
Glad that's over with. Feuding with Tony Stark is not an achievement I care to unlock. So, how about we make something new? Another day for retooling. We have a few more ideas in the backlog if you want to check them out. I finally have a use for the components you handed me. You ready to put this one to bed?
I am ready.
Parker's creative drive is amazing. Seeing how he tackles a problem gives me ideas of my own. And Robbie has the right intuition when it comes to putting these prototypes together. I thought he was being overcautious, but that's a crafter's care. Wish I'd seen it earlier.
You know, I might stay for a bit more. I want to finish an adjustment to the Hell Ride. Is that it for today?
I am ready to go.
Hey, Robbie, you got a sec?
Sure.
Look, I don't want to brag, but I think this is our best work. Yeah, I know, blah blah, teamwork, blah blah blah, but still, it's impressive what we can do when we all work together.
Catch you later, Hunter. Think I'll stick around for a bit.
What is it, Charlie? Find something?
Book club tonight. You in?
Meet you there.
After you.
I like this book, but I can't explain why. Maybe I'll figure it out as we discuss it.
Everyone's in a mood to mingle. I'm good if you are.
Just a second.
Sure, get some punch.
I should not be this nervous about what you all thought of the book. Even the best translations from Kree lose subtext.
Ready to kick this off?
I am ready.
Carol, this was your book, so you can start.
I'll throw it back to you. What did you think of the book?
I had a rough time with it.
You didn't like it?
Didn't say that. At first I spent more time referencing the glossary than reading the book.
Sounds familiar. What changed?
I noticed a kind of rhythm to the words. I began to see them as lyrics to a song. All that dry talk faded and it finally came together. The lyrics made it feel much bigger than a chapter on Kree farming implements.
This book was about much more than farming.
Exactly. The rhythm to it helped paint a bigger picture. Once I caught on, I kept reading and didn't rely on the glossary. I picked everything up from context. That's when I realized none of this was about farming. I'm surprised how much stuck with me, despite some concepts being legit alien to me.
Agreed. For me, the rhythm wasn't lyrics. It was more like the book was written to a cadence.
That's why I had you read it on your Spark. The mnemonic lexicon won't work with a hard copy.
The what now?
An ancient Kree technique. It helps you remember texts that would otherwise be considered... There's no Kree word for stuffy, but essentially that. But all that's packaging. Let's get into the book itself. Hunter, did you figure out what the bloom and the harvest represent?
The bloom is poorly defended territory behind enemy lines. The harvest is when you strike that territory and then fade away.
That's an important aspect, but it's more than just an attack strategy. It's about what comes after. At the time of the book's writing, the Kree cared most about integrating captured territory while still expanding their empire. Conquered worlds came with people. Rather than treat them as prisoners, the Kree provided them with most benefits enjoyed by Kree citizens. This period is known as the cultivation.
So the bloom was when they gained full citizenship under their conquerors.
No, it's when the world requested it. As long as they could feed themselves with Kree farming techniques and defend their world with Kree defenses, the request was granted with few exceptions.
So what's the harvest?
As part of the service required by the Empire, many of these new citizens began the cultivation of freshly conquered worlds.
So they were living examples. Show the newly conquered what they could achieve if they went along with the Empire.
That's also how vampires work.
Carol, I think I pieced together the Kree strategy.
Do tell.
It's all tied to agriculture. Every soldier knows you can't fight if you can't eat, but they applied this to their expansion. Till the field, sow the seed, pull the weed, reap the crop. It means the Kree wouldn't advance until the territory they took was secure and productive.
If your enemy knows how you will act, they can prepare.
Certainly, for other spacefaring empires. But most worlds had no idea the Kree existed until the invasion was underway. But the Kree expansion had momentum. They could afford to push harder because their whole weight was behind the advance. Unless a world could push just as hard, it would eventually fall under Kree control. Carol, how was that?
Close enough to impress me. The strategy in Volume 32 wasn't perfect, but it worked out for the Kree far more often than it failed.
What happened when it failed?
That's covered in volume 33.
And that's book club. Steve, you're up next. What's your book?
The Mantle of Authority, by General Chester Phillips.
Is this the one you keep saying I should read?
The very same. Now you have to. It's book club.
Before I forget, I asked Logan to join us next time.
He said yes?
He can read?
I can't wait to see how this goes.
I hope you enjoy the book I chose.
Why do you say that?
It's about people who weren't around until after your death. But I'm sure you'll figure out the context.
So why choose this book?
Volume 30 was way too spicy for this crowd.
Go on.
I'm kidding. It's relevant to what we're facing today. Hydra, the Lilin, your mom, they seem to have the upper hand all over the world.
The Kree never conquered this planet. Neither will my mother.
Exactly. Reputation makes you seem bigger than you are. We can hit them anywhere at any time. You can bet this adds to our own reputation. And that's how we defeat our enemy. As long as we're still standing, they're gonna fall.
Okay, just between us, Carol's book was extremely weird, right?
I should read the first 31 volumes for context.
You should not, nor should you read the one after this.
How many more are there?
At least 400. According to Carol, this was one of the good ones.
You should be honest with Carol.
I'm always honest with Carol. But if I tell her it was a weird book, I'll sound like I don't know much about her adopted culture.
And how is that bad? You do not know, so this is the perfect opportunity to ask.
Good point. All right, I'll do it. Thanks, Hunter.
Good luck.
You calling it?
That is it for me.
Peace. Carol, I had some more thoughts on the book.
You do? You must have really liked it.
Actually, I didn't connect with it at all. That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
You didn't like it?
It's more that I didn't have the context. But you do, and you clearly like the book, so...
So...
I wanted to see it through your eyes. If you don't mind, I'd like that context.
I don't mind.
Okay, then.
Most of my time at Central is hurry up and wait. Stop by when I'm waiting. We'll talk.
I will.
Good?
Good. Time for book club. You coming?
Meet you there.
Let's head over.
Yeah?
Welcome to book club.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't realize Steve knew the author. I really should have read this when he first asked.
If you ready to kick this off?
I am ready.
Before we start, I want to welcome Logan to the book club. What did you think of the book?
didn't read it.
Okay then, guess I'll start. Steve, I really enjoyed this book.
What stood out to you?
I know people have different approaches to leading others, but I never considered what drives them to do so. Take Custer. He led from the front and was mostly loved by his troops, but his drive for personal glory affected every choice he made. Eventually, Custer picked a fight he couldn't handle. His recklessness led to the death of himself and every soldier he commanded.
His mistake was making decisions to elevate his own standing instead of his troops.
Makes sense. The better they do, the more he gets credit for leading them to victory. I think the biggest lesson, beyond don't be Custer, is that an outsized ego is a double-edged sword for a leader.
Also, you can't just get through life with a pretty face.
I thought you didn't read the book.
I didn't, but I picked things up from context.
I learned more about George Washington from this book than anything I was taught in school.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
Before this, I associated him with statues, paintings, and the dustiest parts of American history. But here we see a military leader whose personal ambition was the victory of his army. He was clear-eyed about his goals and knew how to get out of his own way. Washington led from the top, though he kept counsel with various advisors. Once he made a decision, he expected his subordinates to follow his orders.
This George Washington reminds me of you.
You'd better not say it's the hair.
No, you keep counsel at Central. Once you make up your mind, you assign missions to the rest of us.
Huh. Leads like George Washington. I'll take it. More than anyone else in the book, Washington believed true leadership is a contract bestowed upon you by those whom you lead.
And that's where the book gets its title?
Right. The mantle of authority. It's something that augments you.
Which brings us to our final profile.
We really don't have to do this one.
And now I'm interested.
Steve, how long have you bugged me to read this?
Not because of the chapter on me. You all know General Phillips selected me for the Super Soldier program. For a time, he commanded me in the field, and that's why my profile is in the book. He was kind to say I led by example. Maybe that's how it used to be. But the Avengers isn't a military organization. If I gave Tony an order, he'd laugh in my face. To get anything done, I need the group's consensus. I can't give pretty speeches about the need to sacrifice. I have to show that putting in the effort today will make a better tomorrow.
It cannot be as simple as you make it sound.
Oh, it never is. It's a constant struggle, and you won't always see eye to eye. Still, I find it's absolutely worth the effort. Leadership you can gain, but trust, that you have to earn. But I find little enjoyment in talking about myself, so yeah, let's end it here.
All right, we'll call it here. Next month is... Hunter, do you have any books to suggest?
None from the past few centuries.
Then Logan could pick the next one.
Sure. The Adventures of Crash Morgan number 5, The Last Queen of Deimos.
What is that exactly?
It's about a space explorer with a ray gun, a jetpack, and a fishbowl helmet. Travels through space with a robot dog. They get in wacky adventures.
That's a classic. A buddy of mine had that in basic.
I'm always up for space nonsense.
I'm not, but that's the book. I'll give it a shot.
I'm not sure why Logan joined book club if he's not going to read the books.
You are not required to do so.
Come on, it's the principle.
I'm actually surprised Steve recommended this book.
Why?
Steve can take a compliment, but he's uncomfortable with praise, especially from someone he respects.
What did you think?
Well, the punch is decent, but there should have been a bigger spread.
What I meant, what did you think about book club?
I just told you. Thumbs up for punch, thumbs down for snacks.
Well, at least Logan showed up.
You did not think he would.
I wasn't sure he'd be into book club, and I don't know what to expect from that book of his.
The name alone has me intrigued.
Maybe you're right. I should learn to roll with the unexpected.
You are allowed to be cautious.
Nah, I do enough of that out in the world.
All right, then.
You leaving?
Yeah, I am done.
Peace.
Yes, hello.
Good girl, Charlie.
Heading to book club. Are you?
Meet you there.
Let's get moving.
My plan backfired. Thought choosing a weird book would drive people away.
Why would you do that?
More punch for the rest of us.
Why have I not heard of Crash Morgan? I know it's an older book, but this is exactly the kind of story I like. Is Blade doing...
I thought Logan might bail. But I told him we'd bring more snacks this time. I have him figured out. Ready to kick this off?
I am ready.
All right, Logan, I need to know. Why did you choose this book?
I'll tell you, just not yet. I want to hear what you thought of this book.
It was written in the 1940s, so I expected some repugnant attitudes and phrases. But it surprised me. The writing was simple, yet the story was deeper than it had any right to be.
What was your favorite part?
It's in the chapter where Crash and the princess escape the Zorgots. The next morning, they see the sun rise and Mars rising beside it. When the princess asks what the future holds and Crash just stares at Mars as it eclipses the sun, it gave me chills.
Is it just me, or do the stellar bodies represent their time together?
Absolutely. The time they have together is fleeting. I think this is where Crash first realizes there's no future for the two of them. Anyway, I think the moment gets lost when the Zorgots deploy their Null Stalkers.
I don't get why the robot dog didn't warn them. I thought it could talk.
Not until number 19, the minefields of the reticulates. It's a whole thing.
Got it. So, what's the idea with Crash's promise?
What about it?
When Crash apprehends Glaxogorp, they have a tense conversation in the back of the flypod. Crash says there's a way the Zorgots can leave the moon with everything they want, but the princess must take the throne. Then Crash vows that no queen of royal blood shall ever rule Deimos. Glaxogorp agrees, But why? Crash breaks the vow in the next chapter.
Deimos society sounds awful. The Zorgots were right to invade.
You aren't wrong about Deimos society, but the Zorgots went overboard. Glaxogorp was the only one Crash could reason with. And how does that tie into the Hydro gunfight at the top of the space scraper?
Really? You don't see it?
I do.
They're shapeshifters.
Who?
Crash and Glaxogorp.
No.
Yep. But then, when do they...
The Hydro gunfight. Crash gets hit in the helmet and goes down. And what happens whenever Crash is unconscious?
The helmet changes color. Turns bronze like the suit.
Right. Then Glaxogorp pulls up on the rocket sled and takes Crash and the princess into custody. That's when they make the switch. Crash and Glaxogorp change form. But where do they stash the princess?
It is obvious. They put her in Crash's suit.
Exactly. Crash won't need it to survive because they're within the bubble city. So we get to the Deimos Council meeting. The princess refuses the throne and declares her love for Crash, who is the princess in Crash's suit. When they embrace, the false princess deactivates the Magna Manacles binding Crash. But Crash nabs the Star Scepter from the fake princess, activates the suit's zoom vest, and smashes through the monoculus.
So, if that's the actual princess, she escapes. But who is the false princess?
That's a shape-shifted Glaxogorp. Without the Star Scepter, Deimos can't crown their queen.
Right. She never wanted it, and the Zorgots definitely don't want it. Glaxogorp, posing as the princess, can steer Deimos away from war.
And when the fake Glaxogorp vows the Star Scepter shall be restored to the princess, that's actually Crash.
So Crash made 2 vows and broke neither of them. The cliffhanger with Glaxogorp chasing Crash's ship is actually Crash returning to the princess so they can escape Deimos.
You got it. They reveal the switcheroo at the beginning of number 6, Attack of the Intergalactic Space Weasels.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
So, Logan, why did you pick this book? I almost wish this book was a comic instead. I would have liked to see the monoculus.
I wonder if Tony could build me a robot.
My book was the best of them.
You have only been to 2 meetings.
Yeah, but you know I'm right.
You did not mention a book for next time.
Yeah, with everything going on, I'm gonna put book club on a hiatus until things are less apocalyptic.
I enjoyed some of it, despite the drawbacks.
Oh, like what?
The punch. That wretched bowl of candied bile stains everything it touches. Fruit chunks bobbing like bloated carcasses. Blade, it haunts my dreams.
Don't let Sarah hear you say that. It's her recipe.
I know. Truly, its only unnatural aspect is the color. If not for the fruit, it would be misconstrued as the paint from a fire engine.
Fancy words. Sounds like you joined a book club. Actually, I need to thank you for sticking around since the beginning. For all your help with Carol.
Of course.
I don't get close to many people. I never get into relationships. That's not a rule I ever break. But I did with Carol. Beyond all the reasons, I find her amazing. Do you know why?
You are into her because she can kick your ass.
That's exactly it.
Really? I was joking.
I'm not. Vampires fight dirty. They'll kill whoever you love just because they can. If they really want you to suffer, they'll turn your true love into one of them. That's why dating me is a death sentence, and I refuse to put that weight on anyone. But can you imagine some pissant vampire trying to chow down on Captain Marvel? First, his fangs would snap off on contact with her skin. Then she'd just chuck it into space. No hiding from the sun out there. There's no way they can ever touch her. But it's not just that.
It is you. She is safe from you.
Yeah. I never break my rule because I know deep down there's a chance I could lose control. But with Carol, hell, she could hold me over her head till I was myself again. Wouldn't even break a sweat.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Please don't. I have no sympathy for the monster inside me, and neither should you. This isn't really about me.
It is about everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you joined me for all of this. Maybe next time the world is ending, I'll start a sparring club.
A sparring club? Is that just training with a fancy name?
You saw right through me. On your way out?
That is it for me.
Good meeting.